Uno, dos, one, two, tres, cuatro.
Well, so you need help? All right, take a pause. Just breathe for a minute. Calling a law firm's office, I know it can be scary. That's the last thing you want to worry about is what's going to happen when I call. Am I going to get a bill just for calling them? So here's how it works with Keystone Law Firm. I don't know how it works everywhere else. Here's how we do things. The first thing you're going to do is either call or click to schedule your free discovery call. That's the first step. Just a quick 15 to 20-minute call. We're not going to do much. We're just going to make sure three things are correct. Number one, we just need to make sure we don't have a conflict of interest. If you're calling about your estate plan, about setting up a will or trust, there won't be. But if you're calling about a guardianship or probate or long-term care or asset protection or a trust administration or some kind of a will contest, there might be. We might already be representing somebody on the other side. And so the first thing you're going to do is say, here's my name, here's everybody else's name. Make sure you guys don't have a conflict of interest. That's the first thing. Second, we're just going to make sure that it is happening in a geographic area that we can help, that we serve consistently, that we, don't, if you're in Alaska, we're going to decline. If you're in Arizona, we're going to say we can help specifically. And most frequently, we work in Maricopa County and Pinal County, though we do handle cases in Pima and Yavapai often enough that we're happy to help if you're in those counties as well. Third thing is we're going to make sure that the type of thing you're dealing with is what we deal with all the time. I know it feels like lawyers should be able to do anything, but we can't, and we specifically don't. We very specifically only do a couple things. We either help arrange your affairs, plan your estate, protect your money, your will, your trust, your powers of attorneys, your asset protection plan, all of that stuff. We either do that or we're helping you if you're in charge of somebody else's affairs. So you're the power of attorney, you're the executor, you're the trustee. That's it. We don't dabble in anything else. And so my team will make sure on that discovery call that it is something we do. If it is, then they'll tell you the next step. Okay. That's it. There's no charge for that first free discovery call. Okay. But get it scheduled, have the conversation with my team, and then make sure we can help. If we can, then they'll tell you the next step. The next step is a full hour consultation. Great. A full hour consultation. You probably have seen lots of law firms out there say free consultation, free consultation. I used to do that. I don't do that anymore. We don't even have our lawyers do the consultations anymore for a bunch of reasons. We found out that lawyers were just really bad at consultations because what happened was the lawyers would basically get in there. They'd be nervous as all get out because this is the first time they're meeting you, and they kind of feel pressured like they have to sell you our services, which is a horrible dynamic to be in. And so that just is a rough thing. But then they're pulling themselves out of working on our clients who've already hired us, working on their cases. And so it's like all day long, they're working on a case because a client already hired us and they're working. And then, oh, wait, I got to go to this meeting and do a consultation and try to convince them to hire us. And then back to working on a client. It's really rough. We want our attorneys focused on our clients' cases that have already paid us. We really do. I want my attorneys focused on that. So when you become a client of the firm, you can know the attorneys are focused on what you've already hired us to do. The consultation also is not a good idea for lawyers to do. I know myself when I used to do these because I used to try to get all the information I can from you as quickly as I can, right? Because it's a really finite, quick appointment. And then I'd shoot from the hip. Oh yeah, here's the answer. Here's the answer. Here's the answer. Here's the answer. And I would just try to pepper you with all these answers, overwhelm you, and by the time you get to the end, you're just like drinking from a fire hose. I don't even know what to do next. And then it'd say, hire us. And by some miracle, some clients actually hired us. I don't do it like that anymore because then what happened is I would start gathering all the details, all the data, all the I's dotted and T's crossed, and I'd learn something new, of course, right? Imagine that. And when I learned something new, then, oh, shoot, client, actually that strategy I told you about, that doesn't work. We actually need to do this, and it's a whole lot more expensive. And that's just a horrible way for you to have your relationship with your law firm. Just not a very good experience. So we've changed that completely. We have a trained client service coordinator who does that first appointment. They will spend an hour with you, making sure they drill really deep on how this is affecting you, how this is affecting you and your family and your life, and then making sure you understand what the big picture process is, because they know if we can help or not, right? Our client service coordinators, they see the cases all the time. So they'll tell you, yeah, this is exactly, I see our lawyers deal with this all the time. Here's what the big picture looks like. It's going to be A, B, C, D. That's the process. Then they'll tell you how the finances work and how the budgeting of any type of work we need to do is. They'll explain that. They'll make sure you understand what it is. And then if you choose to move forward, they'll of course help you start organizing all of the actual information that our lawyers are going to need, because they'll schedule you so that you can start having that strategy built out by our lawyers. The whole process comes at really no financial risk to you, and they will explain how all of that works so that you understand what's happening. The last thing I want is anybody to feel like they've gone through a process with a law firm, they get in the middle of it, they get to the end of it, and they go, this is never what I signed up for. I hear that too much from people out there complaining about other law firms. And so we take it step by step by step. Now, if there's a reason for an emergency, if you have something really critically urgent that's happening, my team will make sure to do the shortcut version, because sometimes there is an emergency and we just need to start doing something right away. And they'll explain and they know when to trigger that process. Okay. But that's the process. If you're ready to get started, call or click and get your free discovery call scheduled.